And it's cool because like you read about all this stuff in history where it's like the early days. I've been reading before going to the Amazon. I would read about explorers that would go and explore even the Amazon jungle for the first time. It's just those are the early steps.
Yeah.
Or early steps into space, early steps in any discipline in physics and mathematics, and it's cool because this is like on the grand scale, these are the early steps into delving deep into the human brain. So not just observing the brain, but be able to interact with the human brain.
Yeah.
It's going to help a lot of people, but it also might help us understand what the hell's going on in there.
Yeah. I think ultimately we want to give people more levers that they can pull, right? Like you want to give people options. If you can give someone a dial that they can turn on how happy they are, I think that makes people really uncomfortable. But now talk about major depressive disorder, talk about people that are committing suicide at an alarming rate in this country, and try to justify that queasiness in that light of you can give people a knob to take away suicidal ideation, suicidal intention. I would give them that knob. I don't know how you justify not doing that.
Yeah, you can think about like all the suffering that's going on in the world. Like every single human being that's suffering right now, it's like it'll be a glowing red dot. The more suffering, the more it's glowing, and you just see the map of human suffering. And any technology that allows you to dim that light of suffering on a grand scale is pretty exciting because there's a lot of people suffering, and most of them suffer quietly.
Yeah.
And we turn we look away too often. And we should remember those that are suffering because once again, most of them are suffering quietly.
Well, and on a grander scale, the fabric of society. People have a lot of complaints about how our social fabric is working or not working, how our politics is working or not working. Those things are made of neurochemistry too, in aggregate, right? Like our politics is composed of individuals with human brains, and the way it works or doesn't work is potentially tunable in the sense that, I don't know, say remove our addictive behaviors or tune our addictive behaviors for social media, or our addiction to outrage, our addiction to sharing the most angry political tweet we can find. I don't think that leads to a functional society. And if you had options for people to moderate that maladaptive behavior, there could be huge benefits to society. Maybe we could all work together a little more harmoniously toward useful ends.
There's a sweet spot, like you mentioned. You don't want to completely remove all the dark sides of human nature because those kind of are somehow necessary to make the whole thing work. But there's a sweet spot.
Yeah, I agree. You gotta suffer a little, just not so much that you lose hope.
Yeah. When all the surgeries you've done, have you seen consciousness in there ever? Was there like a glowing light?
I have this sense that I never found it.
Okay.
Never removed it, like a Dementor in Harry Potter. I have this sense that consciousness is a lot less magical than our instincts want to claim it is. It seems to me like a useful analog for thinking about what consciousness is in the brain. Is that we have a really good intuitive understanding of what it means to, say, touch your skin and know what's being touched. I think consciousness is just that level of sensory mapping applied to the thought processes in the brain itself. So what I'm saying is consciousness is the sensation of some part of your brain being active. So you feel it working. You feel the part of your brain that thinks of red things or winged creatures.